When I was in middle school, I used to be obsessed with Turkish culture, and I still am today. This obsession started with the TV show that my grandma made me watch with her one day, and after just one episode, I got addicted to it. The show was called Magnificent Century, and it's based on the life of Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent and his wife Hurrem Sultan. Hurrem Sultan, who was also known as Roxolana, was a slave girl who became a chief consort and legal wife of Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent. Today I want to talk about Hurrem Sultan, who she was, where she came from, how she gained all her power and became one of the most powerful women in history. Hurrem Sultan, so who was this Hurrem Sultan? Or how we know her, Roxolana. According to Daily Sabah, Roxolana was born in Ruthenia in 1505, which is in the western part of Ukraine. Her real name was Alexandra Lisowska, but many historians refer to her as Roxolana, which literally means a girl from Ruthenia. When Roxolana was 12 years old, she was taken as a slave by the Crimean cavalries and brought to Istanbul, where she was bought as a gift for Sultan. After that, young Roxolana arrived at the Topkapi Palace, where the Sultan lived, and here she received a new name, Hurrem, which meant joyful. Hurrem lived in the Hurrem, which was the part of the palace where all the women and concubines of the Sultan lived. After she was trained as a concubine, Hurrem was sent to spend the night with Sultan Suleiman, and she made him fall in love with her. Many people believe that it was her beauty that made the emperor of the world enchanted with her, but others believe that it was her intelligence and vibrant personality that made Sultan Suleiman fall in love with her. Together they had 6 children, 5 sons and a daughter. Usually, after a concubine had a son, Sultan never touched her after that. But I guess in this situation, love was much stronger than traditions. According to the Royal Women's website, when Valide Sultan, who was the mother of the Sultan, died in 1534, Sultan Suleiman married his favorite concubine Hurrem, and that was breaking yet another tradition of the great Ottoman Empire. For Sultan Suleiman was the first sultan who got married to a slave woman. After their marriage, Sultan Suleiman freed all of his concubines and harem, and he even married some of them off to high officials. Hurrem moved from the harem part of the palace to the personal quarters of Sultan Suleiman, and this gave her a great opportunity to get involved in the politics of the empire. When Hurrem became a wife of Sultan Suleiman, she wasn't a slave anymore, and she was much powerful than any other woman in the empire. For his beloved wife, Sultan Suleiman even made a new title, Haseki Sultan, which meant chief consort and the single favorite of the Sultan. When Hurrem became a Haseki Sultan, she used her power to do a lot of charitable work. She built many schools, mosques, bathhouses, and kitchens to help the poor. According to the Daily Sabah, her most famous charitable work was the Great Waqf of Jerusalem. And for those of you who don't know what a Waqf is, the Merriam-Webster dictionary defined this as Muslim religious or charitable foundation created by an endowed trust fund. Hurrem Sultan still remains one of the most controversial people in the history. Some people believe that she was a saint, but others believe that she was ruthless and power-hungry. Some historians say that she was responsible for the death of Mustafa, who was the oldest son of Suleiman from another woman, and death of Ibrahim Pasha, who was the great vizier of the Ottoman Empire. Hurrem Sultan was an extraordinary woman who was able to rise from the status of the slave and to the status of the Haseki Sultan, the chief consort and the legal wife of Sultan. Her life is just as astounding as herself. And even though many people believe that she was a saint, but others argue that she was a demon, I still respect this woman because she was able to do something that no one else before her was able to do.